Darren, can I just ask a question in regards to your coaching career? Now, obviously with the Cats and with Adelaide, what were the lists like when you arrived at both of those teams? Where were they in your estimation?
Yeah, Geelong was probably a little bit towards the older. When I think about walking in there was obviously great Gary Ablett Sr. We had Paul Couch, we had Ken Hinkley. At the time of going into the 95 season, Mark Bairstow was umming and ahhing about whether he was going to play or not. Stephen Hocking was there also, Bluey McGrath. But then there was the emergence also too of Lee Colbert, wonderfully talented, unbelievably courageous, a Peter Riccardi, a Ben Graham, Paul Brown, Brad Scholl, etc. But then when I went to Adelaide, it was probably the other, because there was a lot of young kids coming through. I think probably by the time I was out of Adelaide, guys like Ben Rutten, Graham Johncock, Nathan Bock, Rhett Biglins, it was the emergence of those guys that went on to play, Michael Dowdy, a lot of footy for Adelaide, so it was probably the other. And again, it's important that you don't just get rid of all that experience. I reckon Hawthorn did that over 93, 94, and of course it really then was difficult to replace that experience. So it's very much a balancing act. And again, Alistair Clarkson's been unbelievably good at doing that over a long period of time.
You know, my favourite thing in this whole chat's been when Gary said that, you know, when he came to Hawthorn, they were just sort of at the bit of the end of an era with Kelvin Moore and Peter Knights and Tucky and whatever, and that he stepped in with Langford and Mew and Andy Collins, and that's how you can do a rebuild. Mate, I could rebuild university with you four blokes. I could get them to win the premiership again. Crikey, those four guys walk in the front door. I reckon make pretty daft football people look pretty smart if you cop them in a couple of years' time. Oh, yeah. I've worked out a defence. I've got this bloke Gary from Warragul, and I've got where's Andy Collins from?
He was out. Was it Beverly Hills way? Out that way?
Yeah. Out there with Jethro and Jethro and.
Paul Roos come from Beverly Hills, Gary, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think Anthony Condon might have come from out that way too, who went on to become a great midfielder.
Richard Osborne?
Yep. So, but Jeansy always used to say, though, Finey, if you can't think and chew, spit the chewy out. So I don't know whether that would have applied to me at the university that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's all right.
What I like about Port Melbourne and Gary's situation is he's been able to balance, from what I can see looking at Port play as I do, you've got a very good balance of senior and possibly younger boys that I don't really recognise as well. And so you've been able to manage that. And of course, your success has come, Gary. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, Rene. I've been blessed with VFL legends and guys like Toby Pimwell, Johnny Baird, Shane Valenti, Sam Dwyer, Chris Kane, and Adrian Bonadio was another one. And they actually stayed at the club for quite a number of years. And, of course, then we were able to keep bringing along younger guys. And it's almost like you get indoctrinated in the Port Melbourne way because of the respect that these guys have within the football club. And when you think about back in the day of a Gary Bryce and a Buster Harland and, of course, a Freddie Cook and these guys, Steve Allender, Vic Annanson, Billy Swan, you know, an amazing VFA player. So, again, Biff Dermott, those guys were all, as we know, unbelievable players, and they've got such a great past playing group at Port Melbourne too. So, again, our, I guess, modern era group is really connected with the past players as well. And I think the important thing that...
Very important, man, isn't it?
Very much so, because you've always got to remember where you come from. And, again, I've always said that my players are my most valuable asset. And, you know, the love, the respect, and obviously the commitment that these guys have on a part-time basis is very, very unique. And I'm just in awe of what the boys do for me every week, every month, every year.